Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Awesome Sunday Show. Pat here as usual.
And this is Connor as usual as well.
All right, and today we're continuing our talks of The Flash. Like we said in the last podcast and on Facebook, we're trying to get as much done as we can by the premiere this coming Tuesday, October 6th. So it's going to be a lot of episodes, and we probably won't get them all done by Tuesday because we still have like 15 to talk about or another 14 after this one to talk about. But, we'll get it done by, hopefully, the second episode. So expect a lot of episodes daily.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to be just Sunday. For temporarily, this is just, like, all right, we're putting up another episode just because we've always wanted to kind of come back to this.
Yeah.
But we've just had a lot of other topics and, like, people who want to come on the show. So, obviously, our friends come first.
But, yeah, I mean, we were more than happy to have guests on. Like,
yeah.
It was a great time, all four of them were great guests, and we look forward to having them on again.
They will come on.
Yeah, they definitely will come on. And, Mike Sands will come on and talk about Flash, Arrow, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when D'Elia can come on because he watches Flash as well. So, yeah, we'll get more people in, and then once the season starts and we're caught up, we'll start doing episodes of recapping what happened that week.
Which is going to be fun.
Yeah, which is going to be great. And maybe we'll even record during an episode, do a live recording or something. Maybe even do a live video recording too.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
It's something we'll think about. But for this episode, we're going to only talk about one episode because of how huge it is for the show and for the series, which is episode 9. And it's called The Man in Yellow. And this was the mid-season finale of The Flash, if you watched from beginning of last season. And it was one of the best episodes all season of The Flash. Especially being a huge Flash fan, like, I just had a boner the entire time.
The episode was riveting.
It was so well done, well choreographed, so well acted, and the special effects were great.
Yeah.
Like
it was...
for being a show that's not on a major network, they do their special effects really well.
Yeah, you know what it is? There's just a lot of hard work put into it. And, like, this is no way disparaging or discrediting the show whatsoever, but, like, the special effects are obviously not on par to some other stuff.
Well, yeah, they're not, like, movie effects.
Yeah, they're not movie effects. That's not HBO, Game of Thrones, like... But, listen, for what they have to work with...
Yeah, for what their budget probably is per episode.
It's more than you would ever expect. And, like, which is excellent, which makes the show better, which I think this is why, like, I think this show will... Like, Smallville really hasn't stood the test of time.
It has not aged well at all.
No, and that's the thing. It's not that old of a show at all. Smallville. There's seasons that are good, but the show itself is like, I feel like The Flash will definitely transcend that. Even when the special effects, like 10 years or 20 years from now, will be like outdated. Obviously,
yeah.
People are still gonna look back and be like, "Whoa, that was still sick." Like,
but the good thing is, season 2's effects, I bet, will be better because of how successful season 1 was.
I imagine a better budget.
CW and Warner Brothers probably like give that shit a higher budget.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of the characters they have on the show require it. Arrow for most of it, even still, it's not too many power, like, metahuman villains they face that require, like, actual CGI special effects. Like, they can do a lot of practical.
Yeah, Arrow does. I was just about to say, like, Arrow uses much more practical effects. I mean, like, it's a guy. The hero is a guy with a bow and arrow. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You just need someone who's physically fit.
Like, they didn't have a person with superpowers on the show until this most recent season. Once the Flash was introduced, and then the metahuman Deathbolt appeared. that was it. Up until then, it was all like basically powerless villains, and tons of practical effects. But Flash has done theirs really well, and I know they'll continue to do it, especially if they get a bigger budget, which they deserve. But getting to this episode, we finally get to see the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
In this episode. And
clearly. Like,
yeah. And you know what? It was fucking awesome. And when I first started watching it, it kind of happened earlier than I expected. You know, because it's only 9 episodes into a 23-episode season.
Yeah. And
they throw in the Flash's biggest villain. I mean, it was... Oh, don't get me wrong. I was so happy that it came out. So we're watching the campaign, and Will Ferrell just punched the baby.
Yeah.
And it's the best scene of the movie.
That is, because the movie itself is kind of whatever, but that scene is just great. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Reverse Flash is each of the Flash's biggest villains, because each Flash has their own reverse.
Yeah.
Their own opposite. You know, Jay Garrick had the Rival. Barry Allen has the Reverse Flash, who has gone by Professor Zoom, Eobard Thawne. Then Wally West has Zoom, or Professor Zoom also, Hunter Zolomon. And then both Wally and Barry have at times had Daniel West Reverse Flash, but that's New 52.
Yeah.
And then Bart Allen had Inertia, and there's just a ton of evil speedsters, but Eobard Thawne Reverse Flash is Barry's biggest one.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome villain. He's so, like, just psychotic.
But the thing is, though, he's very patient, which is, like, in my opinion, the best villains are the patient ones. Because, like, as cool as, like, Captain Cold is, and as, like, all those, and as, like, the rogues are, like, let's get it done. Hurry up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, Reverse Flash, he is very tactical. Like, he's waited. How long has he waited for this moment to happen?
Yeah, 14 years.
Exactly.
Since he killed Barry's mom, or 14, 15 years.
And there's, like, and you don't get a shred of eagerness out of him, which is so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, normally, you know, the other villain would go in guns blazing at, like, whatever chance they got.
Yeah.
But he's just been waiting, presumably stalking him in the background of his life for 14 years, ever since stabbing his mom in the heart. Which, you know, if you're going to fuck up somebody, you stab their mom in the heart.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who, like, would want to do that.
Yeah, somebody really fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
Somebody who really, really hates a person.
Like, I've never want to, like, if I met Hitler, I would stab him in the heart.
Yeah. But, you know, not Nora Allen.
Yeah, she seems really nice. I don't know her personally.
Yeah, it just seems like a nice lady.
Yeah,
you know?
She was a mom. Yeah, moms tend to be really nice. My mom's nice. Your mom's nice.
Yeah, exactly. You know, moms are generally good people.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Except for what's her name? Who's the mom?
Casey Anthony.
Casey, yeah. Don't drown your kids. If you get one thing from this podcast, don't drown your kids.
Yeah, that's the moral of each episode.
Was the Casey Anthony the one that drowned her kids, or was she the one that left her?
She neglected her kid to die. The one you're thinking of is a mom in Texas who drowned
3 of her kids.
3 of her kids in the bathtub.
Yeah, don't drown your kids. Don't kill your kids.
Just don't harm your kids.
Yeah, just don't, like, if you see your kid and you have, like, some sort of sense of, like, kind of want to kill them.
Kill yourself.
Kill yourself. Or send them somewhere where you don't have to kill them.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Just you know, don't be a Robbie, be a Justin Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I say.
So back to Reverse Flash.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. So the episode is, as I said, amazing. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas episode.
It doesn't make you want to kill your kids. That's how great the show is.
It's a Christmas-based episode, which I'm glad it doesn't take over the entire episode. How, like, a lot of shows, like, it's around Christmas and that's all that it is. But this episode, it's like, here's a scene with Christmas. Here's another little scene with Christmas.
Yeah, it's kind of like how it reminded me of, like, how much of Christmas movie Die Hard was.
Exactly.
Like, it just took place around Christmas.
Exactly. So it didn't really affect anything too much.
Yeah.
A little bit of the relationship side, but We see the Reverse Flash actually really early on when he invades Mercury Labs to get the we don't know what it is at first, but it's a tachyon particle device, which is the technology of the future, according to the scientists involved and Wells and whatnot. And we see him, and I really like the way he makes his eyes red.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how well, I guess he does it because of the electricity, his red lightning. I guess since it's like technically flowing through him, maybe that's how he does it, by vibrating his eyes like that or whatever. But I like it. It makes him look more menacing.
Yeah, it's something that I didn't even really think about actually until you said it, that like he has red eyes, but I think the reason why he does it now is because just to have absolutely no hint of who he really is.
Yeah.
Because they have technology in the show that can literally follow Barry Allen, the fastest man alive. Like he's doing everything possible to hide his identity. Yeah, and why not have red menacing eyes?
Yeah, and like even Barry blurs his face. He doesn't turn his eyes yellow or gold, which would be not bad to see him try it out, but the red fits the Reverse Flash, especially because he's a villain. You know, it's like, oh, look at that guy. Yeah, he's clearly a villain. His eyes are glowing red.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good sign. And then he just brutally snaps those two security guards' necks. Like, comes in and just, like, in one motion, just doesn't give a fuck. Just, like, snap, snap. Like, it was, like... And then just stares down that fucking scientist. Like, that would have made me shit my pants if I was that guy.
Yeah.
So then we see Barry and Joe are hanging around the tree. And Joe's like complaining how long it takes. So Barry does the super speed, finishes the tree, then he goes, dude, Iris is in the next room. Undoes it. Like, Barry wasted all that time doing it. But then that led to Joe leaving and Barry and Iris exchanging gifts. And, like, Barry is so in love with Iris that it's cringeworthy.
No, it's like, you know what it is? Like, it's cringeworthy in a well-done way. Like, because it's like, you know when you're in high school and you see your buddy, like, clearly like a girl that he's never going to get with. And it's like, dude, just move on. And, like, no. Like,
yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, just stop. Like, relax.
The gift that he gave her, the replica of her mom's wedding band. And then we just find out, not that it wasn't already clear, but Iris's mom not being around fits the formula for, like, comic book backstories, basically.
Yeah.
Like, even though Iris is technically not a hero, she's a good guy, but, you know, parent isn't around, standard. At least one parent's always dead. It's like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
You know, either one or both are gone.
Mufasa, man. I'm still not over it. Like,
yeah, feels, man.
Feels.
And then, so then, one funny joke that happened at Star Labs after that was Barry brings over the eggnog that has a lot of bourbon in it. And he offers some to Wells, and Wells goes, nah, pass. I don't want to drink and drive.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. I like just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Family Guy like joke, like how they always make fun of Joe being on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, and he just said it so nonchalant, and then like, I don't know. I thought it was really funny.
I laughed.
I chuckled.
Yeah.
And then so Eddie gives Iris the key to his apartment, asks her to move in, and then Eddie finally catches on that Barry likes Iris, making Iris, you know, look even more oblivious than she really is. Yeah. Even later on in the episode when Barry visits his dad, Barry's dad, who's been in prison for 14 years, knows that Barry loves Iris. And Iris has no clue. Just showing how fucking oblivious she is.
Yeah, it's like, like when I'm spitting my game, it's obvious.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, dude, like and like that's what Barry does it in a weird like sad way.
Yeah.
Where like any girl would notice it and like would be like, "Oh god, like what are you doing?" Like,
right? Like they lived together for 14 years. You don't think he was like whacking it to her in the next room?
Like,
you know?
Dude,
like when she's out, he goes through her laundry.
Probably like sniffs her underwear.
Yeah, exactly. Now that he has super speed, he could go in and out without her even knowing.
Yeah, I know. Dude, like if I had that superpower, like I think I would be like the most I would be a hero. I would save people. Like I would love to be a superhero, but I'd probably be like a degenerate.
Yeah, probably. I
Yeah.
can see it. I mean,
Thanks. I can see it.
Not saying I wouldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's just funny to think about. And then we get a quick glimpse of Firestorm pretty early on in the episode, which I was really happy to see.
Yeah.
When he's fucking stalking Caitlyn. And then just, I don't know, it was weird, but it's cool. I like the way that they made him look. Like, they actually have his head on fire, which is reminiscent of the comic, just looking a little different, even though he looks like a fucking hobo.
He does look like a hobo. It kind of reminded me of Sweet Tooth being his hair on fire. It's like, that's just the first thing I thought of. But no, it's definitely more reminiscent to the comics.
Yeah.
But I always think of Sweet Tooth when I see people's hair on fire.
Well, yeah, of course. And then, so, after Joe, Eddie, and Barry go to investigate the murders at Mercury Labs and the attempted break-in, Wells goes to the head of Mercury Labs. I forget her name, but he goes, well, nobody wants to protect the technology of the future more than me. Which, like, dun, dun, dun. Like, you got to want... Oh, really, Wells? I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
It's not like you have
Everyone knows who Wells is by this point.
Yeah. And if you don't, you really, really should. But at the end of the episode, it's like, if you don't know if you didn't know right now, here's the fucking thing right in your face.
Yeah.
So then we get a flashback to the scene with Mama Allen and Lil Barry, where she's like telling him not to be afraid of the dark. Hit the feels a little bit, man.
Yeah.
You know?
A little bit.
And then, of course, that was the night. But something we pick up on that you mentioned the other day that we picked up on is the night of that murder, there's 2 colors of lightning. And I've mentioned this before, and that hints, and Cisco actually picks up on this later in the night, that the 2 colors of lightning means that there was 2 speedsters there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Reverse Flash, because Barry actually sees him, and then there's the other speedster, which, you know, is clearly Barry.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's Flash and Reverse Flash have gone through time fighting each other like a whole bunch. And
that's kind of a staple in the comics, though. Like, I mean, in the comics, like Professor Zoom or the Reverse Flash, whatever you want to call him, Reverse Flash, is always going back to rewrite history.
Yeah, exactly.
Like his own history, Barry Allen's history. So, like people who are Flash fans, I'm sure I already know. Like already that Flash was probably there.
Yeah, yeah, and then like because even in the pilot episode you could see the 2 colors of lightning, but you don't really get it until you see Barry's lightning once he gets his powers, which is yellow. And then since we technically are getting the first glimpse of the Reverse Flash in this episode, we see his lightning is red. Mm-hmm. So now watching back and then showing that flashback scene just shows that there's clearly 2 speedsters there. That and one of them drags Barry out of the house to protect him. So, which, you know, left Reverse Flash there, but, you know, obviously future Barry's going to want to protect younger Barry. So there's no doubt that there's 2 speedsters there, which Cisco ends up figuring out at the end of the episode, which is good, because now him and Joe are going to team up to solve this shit. Let's see.
Got a regular mystery in our hands there, Scooby.
Yeah, right. And then after Iris goes to Barry's lab and is like, Eddie thinks you like me, and he's like, what? No. He's such a bad liar, and Iris is so oblivious that it just makes it funny when she says that. Yeah. And like, it's like, if that girl was any smarter, she would have known right there had she not known any sooner.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's like at this point, it's very, like, dude, everyone knows. How did someone not tell Iris?
I know, right? Like, her boyfriend even says it. Like, you would think, whatever. But right after she leaves, we finally see the Reverse Flash just right across the street, staring at Barry from inside the window, just stalking him, which was kind of creepy.
That was like, well, that was scary. I mean, like, it wasn't scary, but I would have been scared if I saw something like that. Like,
oh yeah, just see some guy,
just like some dude in a yellow suit with like red eyes. I would have been like, what?
Staring at him. So then Barry goes on a chase with him, and I thought the chase was really well done. The effects were well done, and then when they get to the stadium, that scene was really good. Like how the fight went down, and was really well choreographed.
Yeah.
And it just looked awesome in the way that Reverse Flash is basically just fucking with Barry and like.
Well, yeah, because Reverse Flash is much faster right now.
Yeah. At this point, he clearly is, because he's had more experience using Speed Force or negative Speed Force. And he's better able to hone his powers. Barry's still learning all the new, like, everything he can do.
Mm-hmm.
He still doesn't know everything exactly. Then we just mentioned this a couple minutes ago, but Reverse Flash says, "We've been fighting for a long time, Barry," which is a staple of Flash's history and Reverse Flash's history, fighting each other through different time periods and chasing each other through the future to the past. So it's just like another hint at their, like, how long their feud has actually been going on and how many different time periods it's taken place in.
Yeah.
And then, like, when Barry goes to see, after he gets defeated and, mopes around, he goes to see his dad and was, like, telling him how he found the Man in Yellow. And I thought that that scene with his dad was the best one so far and was one of the better scenes in the whole season, when he's basically saying, like, Barry's basically saying, like, I let you down, I let Mom down, I had him and I couldn't get him.
Mm-hmm.
Barry's dad's like trying to encourage him.
But yeah, and like, because Barry's dad still doesn't know.
Yeah,
either.
no, not yet. But I can understand.
But yet he still
one.
believes him. Like he says, like, oh, like he probably did have the guy, like not knowing, like. Yeah, I mean, at this point too, like, I feel like if Barry's dad can see that he like loved Iris ever since he was a kid.
From behind bars.
I'm sure he has to have figured out somewhat that he was the Flash. Like, it's like because Barry's dad has already seen the Flash.
Yes.
But not knew it was Barry. And then Barry's like, I had the guy in the yellow suit. It's like, well, I'm not a brain surgeon, but
he was a doctor.
Yeah, he was a doctor.
So maybe, but Barry obviously doesn't want to tell him, because if he's helping put people in prison, and it would make Henry a target.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So,
but I'm saying Henry. Henry has to like somewhat figure out, because like it's not like that hard to figure out. Like, especially when it's like, I had the guy in the yellow suit. The guy was obviously super fast. Yeah. You don't forget something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then
not.
it's like, oh, by the way, the Flash is here, Dad. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting maybe I'm putting two things together too quickly.
Yeah.
There has to be, yeah.
He knows his son is up to something.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. And then the scene after that, Barry finally tells Iris that he loves her. And, like, I thought it was going to be kind of really cheesy, but I thought the scene itself was actually pretty well done compared to what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Iris, like, didn't get upset because she was smiling and crying. You knew she wanted it. Barry saying she loved him.
Yeah.
Not the D. Or maybe the Barry D.
I don't know. I mean, like, they grew up together. She had to have seen that D on accident.
Or was it on accident? And then, so fine, Star Labs and Joe and Eddie come up with this plan to trap the Reverse Flash. And, I was kind of surprised that Cisco didn't come up with a name yet for him, like, by that point, because usually he's, like, right on top of it.
Yeah.
Although he did say the Psycho Speedster, he goes, that's not the name I'm giving him, because he knew it wouldn't have, like, been a good choice. The trap was actually pretty ingenious. They used the tachyon device to lure him there. They said they were using, like, vibrations or releasing some sort of sound that would, like, attract whoever was looking for tachyon particles there, but I didn't really get that. But it's more just like comic, like,
yeah, I call it like Star Trek Mumbo Bumbo, whatever.
Yeah,
there's an actual name for it, like it has to do with Star Trek. It's like I feel like Mike Sands would know because he loves Star Trek. it's like when they explain something like in science terms, but it makes no sense in real life, but it sounds cool, so you just go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was definitely a textbook case of that. So when they caught him, Joe, they catch the Reverse Flash in this like force field type of deal, and Joe goes up to him just like, "Why did you kill Nora Allen?" Dude straight ignores him, looks at Harrison Wells. It's like, "Oh, so we finally meet." And then Wells like, what do you want with the Flash? Why do you want to hurt him? You're like or how do you have the Flash's powers or something like that? And he goes, "No, I'm not like the Flash. Some would say I'm the Reverse." Like, it's a nice little pun made by the Reverse Flash himself.
Yeah. Well, also too, isn't like the Reverse Flash's powers differ from?
They're actually, well, Eobard Thawne's and Barry's are very similar. It's Hunter Zolomon's powers who are a little different.
Because technically he doesn't run faster. Everything around him goes slower.
Yeah. Zolomon manipulates his body and time.
Yeah.
But Thawne taps into the negative speed force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so Thawne and Barry's powers are the same. It's Zolomon and Wally West's powers that are a little different.
Yes. Okay.
So then he just grabs Wells and beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah, like straight up, like
just like brutally destroyed him.
Like I'm with the neighborhood watch beat you up, like
pulled a full George Zimmerman.
Yeah, like it was straight up like beat the shit out of him, man.
And then he gets out, kills all those cops.
All right, I have to like change this movie because we're like trying not to laugh, but it's really hard.
Yeah, we just keep looking over at like the funny scenes. So the Reverse Flash kills all those cops, then just gets in Eddie's face and just stares him down without killing him, like, which is just like another huge hint as to who he is.
Yes,
because Eddie Thawne, Eobard Thawne, clearly the ancestor of him, and if he does something to Eddie, then he'd just erase himself from history,
right?
Because he'd destroy the lineage. And then so Barry comes in, and him and Reverse Flash get into another fight, which again was well choreographed. Just looked awesome.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was really good. I think it was better than the first one was, and had a lot more intensity to it. And then I loved that Firestorm came in the clutch and just like saved the day.
Yeah.
And then so then Cisco and Joe, I mentioned before, they catch on about the two speedsters because of the two colors of lightning. And then the episode ends with Wells walking into his little secret area, and then he pulls out a flash ring, which I was like really happy to see. The flash ring that
I don't remember that part.
Oh, that's how he unlocked the suit.
Oh, wait, I just don't remember seeing that part in the episode.
Oh, okay. So what happens is Wells pulls out the flash ring, which is just like a gold ring with the Flash
and that's how
logo
the
on
suit
it.
comes on.
Yeah,
and I don't remember that part of the episode.
Yeah, and then like in the comics, that's where the Flash and Reverse Flash store their costumes. So then he uses it, unlocks basically the stand for a suit, and then he uses it and unlocks the suit itself.
Right,
just makes it appear.
It's not like in the comics where it actually comes out. Like
right at that. Because it was already stored.
Right.
It was stored. I mean, he could probably get it out of the ring.
Yeah.
It's just, he wasn't using it in that instance.
I honestly just don't remember that part in the episode.
Yeah.
Also, the website I probably watched it on, like, sometimes I had to skip a little bit.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So I might have, because, like, it'll, like, buffer for, like, 10 hours, but if I go a little farther. Yeah, I watched it on Prime Wire. Sue me.
Yeah.
But, the episode I watched, like, sometimes I have to skip a minute further, so I might have missed that part.
Yeah, and then he basically unlocks the suit, puts on that tachyon device, and then in the vibrated evil voice, he goes, "Merry Christmas." And now there's literally no doubt as to who Wells is.
Yeah, that's the big reveal.
That is the reveal. And if you didn't know it by then, like, they're literally saying it's like coaching, guiding a fucking horse to water. It's like telling the dumbest kid this is how something is done. Wells is the Reverse Flash, is Eobard Thawne.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't revealed his name yet, it's clear because he has been, he fits that.
He walks.
He has the negative speed force. He's from the future. He doesn't kill Eddie Thawne because that's his ancestor and it would destroy the lineage.
Yeah.
And he hates the Flash with a passion.
Hates him. Literally,
which is different from Hunter Zolomon because he hates Wally, but the reason that Hunter Zolomon does what he does is to make Wally a better hero, so that Wally has the ability to save everybody, to prevent something like Zolomon's family being killed from happening again. So he kind of has, in his own twisted way, is doing it for good, but Eobard Thawne is just doing it just to torture Barry out of pure hatred.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why Thawne, or that's why Reverse Flash is one of the best villains in the DC universe. Whether it's TV
hands
show,
down.
just because of like what it's sadistic.
Yeah, he's the definition of a sociopath. And he's such a good like counterpart to the Flash, and he's just a great tactical, sick, powerful villain. And it's great. And being the mid-season finale, it was such a good ending, especially for a mid-season finale. But when I watched that and saw that, I was like, fuck, now I gotta wait like 2 months until the next episode, and it built up so much anticipation. It was like getting like really bad blue balls.
Dude, those are the worst.
Yeah. I hope my mom doesn't listen.
Yeah,
because I'd be in a lot of trouble.
I don't think. No, I think your mom would probably listen like 10 minutes. Like, this is nice, Patrick. I got to do something.
Yeah, if she would even listen. Oh, but yeah, it. I was like dying. I was like, fuck. Gotta wait 2 months after that, and like after watching that on Tuesday, and then Arrow's mid-season finale the next day, and how that ended too. I was like, God fucking damn it. And then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the same week, except Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like it stopped in like first week of December, didn't come back till March. At least Flash and Arrow came back like probably like end of January or something, from the beginning of December. But yeah, it was so much anticipation, and the implications of that episode are fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we have the Flash's biggest villain. We know who he is, and he's right there with Barry all the time, coaching him. And like, you start, if you're not familiar with like the comic history of Reverse Flash and Flash, you start wondering why he's trying to make Barry better and more powerful and helping him, but it's so he can use him basically.
Yeah, he needs Barry right now.
He needs Barry, in order to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. He knows he can't kill him, and like even if he would hate himself for killing him, because then he'd have nobody to torture. Like, his goal is to torture. That's why he never straight up just kills Flash.
Right.
As bad as he wants to. And then it would also ruin his plan at this point. Maybe once he's about to accomplish his plan and wants to kill him, then that's something different. But, it's just, that's why he's been protecting him, because he still needs him. But it was a huge, huge episode in the season. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. It was like, this was the episode where I was like, all right, like, this is where this show is going. Like, obviously, like, there's still like fun episodes to watch, like the Revenge of the Rogues, and like, I'm trying to think of other episodes that were just like straight up just fun episodes to watch. Like,
yeah.
But like, as far as like progressing the story, this progressed the story of the show significantly, where you get little bits of like here and there of like of something. You know?
It's when shit starts getting serious.
Yeah.
And it was like just awesome. And like being like such a big fan of the Flash, seeing them battle was great.
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely it was cool seeing two speedsters fight on TV.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not something I expected,
Mm-hmm.
to happen anytime soon. Especially so well done, because when Smallville had Bart Allen on, the special effects for that were terrible, and it was a terrible character. The way they wrote him.
I never watched all Smallville.
I watched it here and there.
Yeah.
The parts I did, I was just
like when it was on TV, I would catch something because I was like, "Oh, Superman." I'm like, no, it's not really him at all. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, it is. It is Clark Kent, but it's like I don't know. Just was not into it.
Yeah. When they did that little mini Justice League team up on Smallville, it was pretty bad. Honestly,
I don't remember that actually.
It was like everybody just looked so shitty, and the dialogue for each of them was like obviously comic book dialogue is cheesy, but it was like fucking like rotten cheesy. It was so bad.
When I think of cheesiness, the cheesiest thing I can remember is that movie we all went to go see, I Am Number 4.
Oh my
They were
God.
supposed to make like a movie movie series out of it and never panned out. Where like
for good reason.
And like the one girl says Red Bulls for pussies, and like it's just like, oh wow, like that was hard to take in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's some episodes of Smallville where I'm just like, and I like that actor that played Clark Kent, like the younger
he was
version.
fine.
Yeah, I like that guy. But like there's just like sometimes when I do watch Smallville, I'm just like, oof.
Yeah.
Like that is just not okay.
Yeah, it was just. Did you ever watch Blue Mountain State?
Nope.
You gotta watch it. It's a funny show. But if anybody watches that and knows who Thad Castle is, he played Aquaman on Smallville. And going back and watching Blue Mountain State, and then going back and watching Smallville and seeing him as Aquaman, it's just hysterical because of how serious like the show was trying to make him, and how like ridiculous the character Thad Castle is. It was funny. Not to mention how cringy it was, like those episodes were, as it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should give Smallville more of a chance. So sometimes, because I've never seen the whole thing. Like I've only seen episodes here and there. But I don't know. Maybe I feel like I have more to do with my life.
Yeah, definitely. Not to watch 10 seasons of a show that doesn't hold up.
No.
Only like 7 or 8 years after it got off the air.
It's been that long?
Yeah, it's been off for a while, I think. Well, just look it up on the internet.
We have the internet on our phones.
Anyway, so we're going to go into... I think we should go into a little bit backstory of Reverse Flash specifically.
Yeah.
Eobard Thawne.
Eobard Thawne. Well, okay, so
it ended 4 years ago.
Yeah, it couldn't have been that long.
Wow. Well, the way it, like how it looks like it's been off the air longer than that because of the effects, but I guess they just advanced that much in that time.
Well, okay, so I remember the 10th season though. The effects weren't terrible. I just didn't like the way they did Darkseid.
I hated that.
Yeah, that was awful. But a lot of people like the 10th season though. Like the fans of that show.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oh, the 10th season like redeems it." But I was like, "Eh." It's like, you know what? Like Destiny, I didn't like Destiny when it first came out. And people are like, "Oh, the Taken King redeems that game." It's like, you know what? I spent $60 and didn't have a good time the first time. So
yeah, exactly.
Too bad. All right. So, Pat, do you want to start off getting into more of a back? Are we going into more a comic book backstory, like comics, or like are we just gonna like kind of like try to go into like the like Arrowverse?
Well, we don't really have too much of the Reverse Flash established in that.
That's what I figured. So,
in the Flarrowverse.
Flarrow.
That's how the producers refer to it. Combination of Flash and Arrow.
I've heard Arrowverse.
It's Arrowverse, Flarrowverse. It doesn't really. They're interchangeable. Which you can call it Arrowverse because Arrow came first and served as a backdoor pilot to the Flash. But regardless, yeah, we don't really have too much established for the Reverse Flash in this universe, so I guess we'll go more comics.
Comic books. Yes,
Yeah.
going back to the comics.
Yes. So, Eobard Thawne is from the 25th century. And when he was young, he started, before the 25th century. It started while the Flash was still fighting crime. Like, during Barry Allen's lifetime, Central City created a Flash museum basically honoring him and, like, his greatest achievements, displaying his, like, worst enemies and all that. And that lasted all the way to the 25th century. Still in Central City, it remained, like, a huge thing. Probably got more popular
over time
and more expansive, and Eobard was obsessed with Barry Allen and the Speed Force, and he spent his life, like, he eventually, through his future self murdering several people to get to the point, becomes the professor of the Flash Museum, which is where he gets the nickname Professor Zoom, because of his knowledge of the Flash and the Speed Force. And he becomes, like, psycho obsessed with Barry Allen. He even does what do they call it? Plastomorph, which is basically like the 25th century equivalent of plastic surgery, except, like, way more perfect. You know, like,
yeah.
He
Whereas, like, sometimes plastic surgery makes you look like makes your lips look like you got stung by a bee,
or your face just look like you're a fucking pile of mud.
Yeah.
His actually made him look just like Barry Allen because he was that obsessed with him.
Like, weird. It's, like, super creepy.
Yes. It's like Norman Bates obsessed with his mother.
Yeah.
Type creepy. You know what? I'm glad that they didn't use the Professor Zoom name for Eobard in the Flash series so far, because I like him. I associate him more being the Reverse Flash, and then Hunter Zolomon being Zoom or Professor Zoom.
Yeah.
I think it's more fitting, especially, you know, for the first evil speedster we see to be the Reverse. You know, I think it's more fitting for him than, you know.
Well, also too, it's just better because it gives him one supervillain name.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people who might be fans of the show but aren't, like, super into comics, which, I mean, a lot of people are like that. There's people who love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they're like, I don't really read the comics, which is fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just, I like it better for the show because it's like, if they start calling multiple names, then people are gonna be like, wait, what's his name? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, now that for season 2, the main villain, the big bad, is just Zoom. You know, it's good that they didn't use it right away. And going back to the Plastomorph, it's funny that they chose Tom Cavanaugh to play Eobard, because he actually kind of does look like an older Grant Gustin. A little bit, you know? Like, I could see it.
Yeah.
Like, they got the same frame, same color hair, same, like, facial structure. Like, it kind of... I'm sure... That probably wasn't their intention, but it worked out well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, but, like, you gotta... Like, when people when there's a reason why there's casting directors.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to think that far.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Tom Cavanaugh is a great actor, which is another... Like, they wouldn't have just picked some random dude who happened to look like the person they cast as Flash. Like, Tom Cavanaugh is a great actor. And actually, like, a lot of people up to episode 9 thought, well, even still a little after, which was, you know, after episode 9, if you thought this, you were still an idiot, was that Wells was actually a future version of Barry who just became, like, jaded and basically just became a giant evil douchebag throughout his battles, which I guess was predominantly because of the similar looks between the two, but had no substance to it. It was like the same people who were saying that the Joker in Suicide Squad is Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Sure, it's nice sounding.
It's a cool theory.
It's not. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, granted, there was a little period where Barry came back evil, but it didn't last too long, and it was for a specific reason that they wouldn't have done on the show.
Right.
So then Thawne wants to like meet Barry. That's his like life goal, but it's 5 centuries after Barry died. He ends up finding the cosmic treadmill, which, for those unfamiliar, it's what the Flash uses basically to gain this speed to travel through time and different dimensions. So he literally jumps into the Speed Force, which he can take him anywhere throughout time, history, the universe, like the multiverse. Although in the show they have the treadmill, it's not the cosmic treadmill yet, and they haven't shown that it'll yet go into the multiverse, which would be cool if they end up using like that.
Well, it might be season 2.
Season 2, the connection between Earth 1 and Earth 2 is different, and they show what happens in the season finale is what brings Earth 2 to Earth 1.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that connection, it's not the cosmic treadmill. It's like this giant event that caused... Well, I guess it's technically an event, but it's the result of something huge. Like a huge thing happens, and then it causes Earth 2 heroes and villains to be able... Basically opened up an interdimensional portal. But yeah, it's as a result of something huge in the season finale that I don't want to spoil. For you.
Yeah, please don't spoil it.
So in order to use the cosmic treadmill, Thawne has to basically give himself Barry's powers. He tries to recreate it and ends up creating the negative Speed Force. Ends up going back to the 20th century, except he miscalculated it because he didn't, I guess, he ended up going to into the 20th century, but after Barry had died during the Crisis of Infinite Earths, and Wally West is the Flash. So clearly he gets distraught, understandably, you put yourself through a serious accident to replicate your hero's powers, and you go back 5 centuries to see him. I could understand him going insane about it. And then he goes so insane that he thinks he's Barry Allen and basically goes and picks up his life where Barry left off after dying. And he's able to trick even Wally and the rest of his friends.
I'm pretty sure some of the Justice League too.
Yeah, they didn't pick up on it until I forget what the thug worked for, but some guy that him and Wally were fighting was like, "Oh yeah, I killed the original Flash. There's no way you're him." And Thawne goes nuts on him. He goes, "I am Barry," and kills the guy. And Wally finally picks up on it. He's like, "Shit, that's Zoom."
Yeah.
Although at the time, Thawne didn't know he was going to become the biggest villain. It's when Wally chases him into the Flash Museum, and he sees Zoom, and the placard sign for him says, "And Flash's greatest villain, Professor Zoom." So then he just straight up adopts it and is like, "Yeah, all right,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go kill people." Yeah, I mean, that's after that, Wally tricks him into going back to the 25th century, and he ends up temporarily losing his powers, and he ends up losing the memory of what happened when he went back there. But the one thing that stayed with him was his deep, burning hatred of Barry Allen, which motivates him to go back and torture the fuck out of Barry for his whole life.
And does it successfully.
Yeah, time and time again. And the biggest thing that he did, well, obviously he fucking stabbed Barry's mom through the heart. One of the things he did that he have you seen or read Flashpoint?
No.
You got it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Everyone tells me that.
And I recommend anybody read it or watch it. There's an animated movie on it. and it's so good. Basically, Thawne manipulates Barry a little bit to go back in time and prevent his mom from being murdered, and it causes this huge time paradox, creating this alternate timeline where there's no Justice League, no Superman, Bruce Wayne's dead, Thomas Wayne is Batman, and Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
And Thomas Wayne is Batman. Is that... Wait, hold on. I might know a little bit more about this. Doesn't Thomas Wayne, like, just straight up kill people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he uses guns. He throws Harley Quinn off a building. Yeah. And then Cyborg is, like, the biggest superhero in that timeline. And Aquaman and Wonder Woman are having basically, like, a land versus sea battle that's just, like, ruining the world. And it's all because Barry went back to prevent his mom from being killed, which led to almost 1 billion people in the world getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's gotta suck. It's like it's either your mom dies or like everyone dies.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn tough choice. And so in it, like, Barry goes, "Wow, I did that," and he goes, "Well, if you don't let me go back and change this, then you're gonna die too, Thawne." Thawne goes, "Worth it though. Look what you did." This is like the best thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah.
So as long as Flash suffers, Thawne is willing to risk his life to ruin the Flash.
Yeah.
Because he'd just die knowing that, satisfied that he fucked the Flash up so bad. Emotionally, that whatever resulted in his death happened. Which has a really good ending. Definitely watch the movie. Definitely read the series. In the comics, the ending is slightly different, or like one of the last few scenes is slightly different, but still equally as awesome. Although it's better in the movie, one of the final scenes, than it is in the series. Highly recommend it. It's one of the best DC animated movies.
I'll watch it. I'll get it. I'll watch it. I'll probably just watch it tonight. Actually,
it's on Prime Wire.
It is. All right.
Yeah, I ended up watching it today, actually, after watching episode 9 again. But the biggest takeaway of Thawne and his backstory is, clearly he becomes Barry Allen's biggest enemy, but he also creates the negative Speed Force, which is what all the evil speedsters...
That's what they use.
That's what they use, with the exception of the rival, who uses, I forget the name of the compound. He uses a chemical compound. But much like Barry Allen created the Speed Force when he became the Flash, Eobard, when he became the Reverse Flash, created the negative Speed Force that was retconned to fit the Flashes and Reverse Flashes before them, and for each one after them. Like, even Jay Garrick, when he was first around, didn't have the Speed Force. He was affected by the same chemical compound that the rival used. I forget what the fuck it's called, but that was actually ended up used by a couple of different speedsters who weren't able yet to tap into the Speed Force.
Yeah. Well, because not every speedster taps into the Speed Force in the DCU.
Right. Yeah, there's different ways to do it. Like, Cobalt Blue doesn't use the Speed Force. He has that talisman.
Right.
And is a speedster.
But he's not as fast as the Speed Force speedsters.
No, but he has better abilities, kind of. Like, he could kind of create constructs.
Right.
A little bit. I mean, it's mostly like swords and stuff, but he does have super speed, reflexes, accelerated healing, yada yada. But he doesn't have the same, like, power behind it.
Okay.
And today I read this really interesting theory about who Zoom actually is going to be in season 2, and I liked the idea of it. It's one of the theories is that Zoom, since he's from Earth 2, which is where Jay Garrick is from, is the rival, just adapted a little differently. And, like, because in one of the season 2 trailers, you get the smallest glimpse of what Zoom looks like. You can't see his face or his eyes or anything, but the lightning around him is blue. And the rival had blue lightning. And it's from Earth 2, which is where Jay Garrick's from. It's a theory. I don't know how
Right.
credible it is yet, but it's like it's interesting, and I'd be interested to see that. Although it's just as likely that could be Hunter Zolomon from Earth 2 because Wally West is going to be on the show, but don't know yet if Wally West is going to have Speed Force powers.
I don't know if he's gonna. Yeah, that might not be a season 2 thing. But then at the same time, like season 1 so far, I'm 13 episodes in, maybe 14 at the time we're recording this. Yeah, I'm on 13. They're doing a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because there's like 20 something episodes a season.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that like I would much rather have. I'd rather have 10 episode seasons. So far, like I'd rather because like there's so and I like and that's not saying like I love every episode that I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
That I wish. Well, and I could be wrong that I feel like they're by like season something or whatever, or like they're not gonna have the same ideas. Like I'd rather have the show last longer with the genius that they're putting on behind it right now.
Right.
You know,
I think they still can because there's still a lot that they can use. Still a lot of great storylines they could use, and they
again, and I'm speaking very early
Yeah.
too. It's just what I think right now.
with what they've had for like 90% of the episodes, they can revisit in different ways.
Yeah, but that's also the reason why I left The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Is that like it's like how many times can I hear Lori, where's Carl? Like or and it's just like a character comes in and then he dies. A character comes in and then he dies. And like listen, The Flash so far is one of the best first seasons I've ever seen in a television series. So I hope I'm wrong 100%. It's just a concern I have, I guess.
I disagree. I am the opposite. I like what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it's not 10 episodes because then we wouldn't get all that we've seen.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, do you like when you're at a restaurant? Like, what's the worst thing you can do when you eat at a restaurant? You eat all the bread and all the appetizer before you get your main course.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sometimes I feel like too much of a good thing in the very beginning is sometimes like worse for like later for a series, and like that's just what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
From what I've seen and what I've read is going to happen and what they're planning, that's not something we need to worry about right now, in my opinion. And Daredevil is what 12 episodes, 13 episodes.
It's like 12, 13.
But it was set up much different. That there was just straight one villain.
Yeah.
That he had to deal with and like little minions, but it
worked
for
minions?
Daredevil. Yeah, like the yellow minions.
Yellow minions.
That's who Daredevil has to fight. It was just the way that they constructed the show was different, and that's why it works that way for Daredevil versus what works for the Flash.
Yeah, and Flash is kind of like a villain of the week thing, which is really fun. Which is fun. Like it's yeah. Again, I'm probably wrong, which I hope I am. It's just like kind of a concern because it's like while I'm watching, it's like wow, all this is awesome, and it's coming really quick. Like. But it's like the writers are if the writers are as good now as they stay on, then I guess it really isn't a concern.
Yeah, no, because what happened with like Arrow season 3 was kind of very, very, very up and down, with a lot more downs than ups, and that was because a lot of their writers from season 2 left to go on the Flash, but no writers left the Flash to go to Supergirl. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because now all those same strong writers are going to stay on for the second season instead of new writers for a whole new season, like completely abandoning what happened the last season. But it's the producers are remaining the same. The executive producers are getting a lot of directors that directed some episodes last season coming back.
Good.
The executive producers like Greg Berlanti.
That's how shows last. Like
yeah.
I mean, look at Cheers. Like that show lasted forever because the writing was so good and they kept the writers. X-Files. Just you can name any TV show that's lasted a long time. I mean, like Dexter was the only show I can really think of that just really was awful when it ended. I mean, but also too because they changed the writers though.
Yeah, and the executive producer who became the showrunner after season 4 was just a complete idiot. just straight idiot, and had terrible ideas. But like for the first season, Jeff Johns, who is the creative chief officer of Warner Brothers and has written some of the biggest Flash storylines in its history.
Was he also he wrote Blackest Night too, right?
I think he wrote Blackest Night. He wrote Flashpoint, Flash Rebirth. I think he was one of the writers on Crisis on Infinite Earths and then Infinite Crisis and just like a lot of other stuff. Has written a couple episodes in the first season. He wrote the premiere, the mid-season finale, and the season finale. I know for a fact he wrote those. I think there was another one or two, and then he's writing a couple for this coming season too. And he's the chief creative officer of the entirety of DC Comics. So he's writing for one show and then producing the entire cinematic universe as well. And if he's taking the time out of his huge job to write episodes for a show, like he's like, yeah, the show is like just going full force ahead and is not gonna fuck up.
That's a guy, like as much respect I have for Kevin Feige, and like even though the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, I mean, there's only one movie in the DC Extended Universe, but like, I'm saying it right, Jeff Johns. Yeah. That guy does way more. Like, he writes, and
he still writes comic books.
Yeah,
too. Like,
he does.
He's been writing comic books for like 20, 30 years or something like that, and he's written, like I said, some of the biggest ones. Not even just biggest Flash ones, but a lot of the biggest
in the DC. He did the New 52 reboot of Green Lantern too, right?
Yeah.
And that was awesome. Where Sinestro comes back to the Lantern Corps and destroys the Sinestro Corps. That was fucking incredible.
Yeah, he's written a lot of huge Lantern storylines as well. And a lot of big Justice League ones. So he's more hands-on in DC as a whole because he's in the movie, TV, and comic side. Mm-hmm. While Kevin Feige is more the visual side.
Yeah.
More so the cinematic universe than the TV universe, though.
Yeah, Kevin Feige he's kind of like the creative officer behind like everything. Like, how like there's like you look at someone like a Tim Cook or Steve Jobs, they don't really know computer programming, but they know how to tell people what to do.
Exactly.
I kind of feel like it's Kevin Feige, whereas I feel like Jeff Johns is kind of like the Satoru Iwata. He's like the guy that runs everything, but also gets down in the trenches.
Yes, I mean, Kevin Feige is extremely hands-on, and
R.I.P. or Iwata.
Yeah, is extremely hands-on and has a huge part in each story, like in constructing the story of each movie. And he has every idea in the cinematic universe. Basically, he gives like the writer's an idea. He's like, I want it like this because it needs to be like this, this, and this. And he has like an entire plan filled out for up to 2028. But Jeff Johns is definitely more like Iwata in how he's got his hand in everything. And it's no knock to Kevin Feige. I mean, they both are doing amazing jobs. It's just Jeff Johns is doing it in all three areas, which is cool. I'm glad you brought up Kevin Feige because I was actually going to, not on the podcast, but tell you this, that he said that the movies are going to start acknowledging what's happening in the TV universe.
Yeah.
Like upcoming movies are, which is good because, like, and I understand why the movies haven't yet.
Well, because they don't know how successful the TV universe is.
Well, not even that. It's like a TV show, while the season is going on, with the exception of shows that are released all at once, like Daredevil. But like Flash, Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., shows that are weekly shows, they're still producing the back end of the episodes and still writing them, shooting them as like earlier episodes are airing. They don't stop filming until like a couple of weeks before the season finale goes on, really. Mm-hmm. So as soon as like a movie comes out or something happens, they can go right in and switch it, and then just like move one episode up or something like that. They have the quick turnaround that they're able to do that, while the movies have to go and be in production for like 2 years or even longer in some cases. So they don't have the turnaround that they could actually do it like that. But he said that they're setting it up so that future movies will be able to, which is cool, you know, because they're supposed to be connected. And like, yeah, there's connections that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Daredevil sees, but the movies don't see from them, which would be good.
I just want Daredevil to be in Avengers Infinity War.
He very well could. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
And that'd be great. I want to see what they have to say about him in the movie universe.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because Daredevil's show was just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, literally incredible. And I just want him to be in the MCU. But now we're kind of getting off the topic of Flash.
Yeah, so that's episode 9. It's a little bit backstory of the Verse Flash. The next episode that we cover the Flash, we'll do again what we did for the last episode, which is just cover 3 or 4 at a time, just to try and churn them out, but still go over the important stuff.
Right.
We're not just gonna breeze through and be like, oh yeah, this person was in that episode. All right, next one. Yeah. You know, because there's still a lot of big stuff that happens in each episode.
Yeah, it's important.
But we still want to get it done soon. That way we can start keeping up with the show in the episodes we're going to be making. We want to do it, this past week's episode was, like talk about last week's episode, which wouldn't have been a problem had somebody watched, The Flash sooner when I was like getting on his case.
Sorry. Listen.
Fucking cunt.
I'm a busy boy.
Yeah, too busy masturbating and talking to chicks on Tinder.
Please, I've never used Tinder before in my life.
Okay. You're right. You're too busy chilling with your friend Dave Mazar.
Oh, wow. Sorry, because you're best friends with Ballman.
Yeah, but you fuck Mazar. I'd rather be friends with Ballman than fuck Mazar.
I don't know.
I got you there.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that might be worse. Remember that time at Shore House where he said hi to you?
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
Because one of those is true. Now we're getting
off topic, and I'm going to stop the episode, and then we can continue this off.
All right.
So, yeah, this is going to go up soon, and then expect more episodes.
Put it up
hopefully
now.
Each day. Bye.
See ya.
Wow.